Hey everybody, and welcome again to Franchise Gaming, where it's franchise content all day, every day. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe if this is the first video you're ever watching on this channel, because we have plenty more. So the response was great on the Daniel Jones career sim for the New York Giants. I have to thank you all for that. So we are going to do another one, and we are going to head over to the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, we're going to go league settings. I don't care. We'll do all Madden simulation. I don't care. Whatever you guys think is the best. We'll go every 4 weeks for progression, 15 minutes. I am not doing any of this stuff right here, but we will do our own league advancement. Tutorials off, auto progressing will be on, fill rosters will be on, all of the like. So we're going to keep it that way. We're going to go starting point to the regular season. I do not need it in the preseason right now. And we are going to head into this. All right, much like before, the only stipulation in this career sim is that DK Metcalf has to start. Now, in order for him to be considered starting as a wide receiver, he has to be either the number 1 or number 2 receiver on the depth chart. So we're going to throw him to number 2 on the depth chart here for the Seattle Seahawks. Simulate your number 1 and see where he is at. You can see he is a 76 overall. Really great speed. I can't wait to see what he can do. Unfortunately, the Seahawks were not able to make the playoffs in season number 1 here. They go 8-8. Looks like they scored some points, but their defense looked awful. Interested to see what DK Metcalf did. He only had 538 yards, 4 touchdowns. Did I do something wrong? He did play 16 games, so yeah, I do need to turn the injuries off. That I did forget. But he did play 16 games, so it was not that. It was just not the greatest season for him yardage-wise. Looking at the end of season awards, DK Metcalf is 3rd for Offensive Rookie of the Year, so that's pretty exciting, but he didn't make it onto the best wide receiver list for the NFC. And just to give you guys a little more context on how things are going, we're going to take a look at the Super Bowls, and the Packers win 54, 20-17 over the Browns. For Season 2, it looks like DK Metcalf has done enough to make himself the pure number 2 receiver behind Tyler Lockett, so we're good here. Seahawks make the playoffs in season number 2 at 8-7-1, scoring 409 points. Must mean some good things for DK, even though they lost the last 3 games. Russell Westbrook looks to be spreading the ball out a ton as 3 receivers with over 65 catches. DK Metcalf, the 3rd in yardage, only 4 touchdowns, 677 yards. Hopefully we see more production down the road, but let's see how he does in the playoffs. Simming through, they're taking on the Redskins in the wild card round, and the Seahawks are up 10-3 after the first quarter. Into the second quarter, Washington ties it up, but the Seahawks take a lead with a field goal, and right before the half, the Redskins jump in and tie the ball game at 13. Then the Redskins take a lead into the second half there as they grab a touchdown in the third. Seahawks with a touchdown early fourth. Redskins strike right back with a score. Seahawks not going to get it done. They'll lose by 10 here. So they get beat at home. DK Metcalf, 6 receptions for 58 yards on the game. Russell Westbrook. Wow. Russell Wilson threw no touchdowns and an interception in the game, so he was not really good. Dwayne Haskins did a great job for Washington. DK Metcalf nowhere to be found on the best receiver list for the yearly awards, and the Cowboys will beat the Browns this time in the Super Bowl 20-17. Let's move into season number 3. DK goes up to an 80 overall going into his 3rd season, still right behind Tyler Lockett. We'll see if he can take advantage and actually get some stats this year. This season was not kind to Seattle as they go to the basement of the NFC West. Defense once again was pretty bad, but the offense did not put up a lot of points either. Rams and Niners were great though. Tyler Higbee led the team in yardage And DK Metcalf was 4th behind Gary Jennings and Tyler Lockett. So DK Metcalf really not having a lot of luck here in Seattle. Obviously, with those kind of numbers, DK did not make it onto any yearly lists. And you can see that Super Bowl hell, as far as me as a fan, happened here in Super Bowl 56 as the Patriots were to beat the Cowboys 17-10. Tyler Lockett starting to come down a little bit, and overall DK climbing just a little bit, so getting a little bit closer between the 1 and 2 receivers here. But hopefully Gary Jennings doesn't steal all those receptions. Another mere playoff miss here for the Seahawks, despite the fact that they outscored their opponents, just like the Rams here, but somehow they both got beaten by the Cardinals, who did not outscore their opponents. Seahawks did finish on a 6-game win streak, which means they started 1-9. What does that mean for DK? DK Metcalf, again, going to be the 4th target on the team. He did not score a touchdown all season. This isn't going well for him. Again, obviously, DK not going to make any end-of-year lists there, and the Chiefs over the Falcons 27-22 in Super Bowl 57. Metcalf is now really close to Tyler Lockett in overall, and there's really no clear-cut number 3 receiver, so hopefully Russell Wilson can find him a lot more than he's been. Once again, stuck in the basement of the NFC West, but it was the defense for sure this time, as we only scored 3 points lower than the Rams, who won 10 games, but 405 points against is going to do it to you. Still, despite all that, Diamond Peterson still comes out over DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett has a great season. At least Metcalf scored a few touchdowns, but he's really not getting it done here. Obviously, again, those numbers are not going to contribute to any kind of awards for DK Metcalf. However, I would like to do it again. Let's all laugh at Gavin for the 24-3 loss that the Houston Texans take in this Super Bowl. Packers win another Super Bowl. DK Metcalf has finally taken over Tyler Lockett as the number 1 receiver here. Hopefully he can come up with some 1,000-yard seasons like Tyler Lockett has. Surprise, surprise, it's basement again for the Seahawks, scoring very little points, giving up a ton of points, and going 3-13 as the worst team in all of the NFL. Tyler Lockett still comes out as the main receiver with over 1,000 yards. DK Metcalf, 764 yards, 5 touchdowns, so getting a little bit better. As you can see, Tyler Lockett makes it to best receiver as the number 2 receiver on the squad. Unfortunately, as the number 1 receiver, Metcalf just can't do anything. A.J. Brown makes it for the Eagles as the leading best receiver in the NFC. Browns make it and lose their 3rd Super Bowl in this video as they lose to the Bears 33-27 in Super Bowl 59. DK Metcalf will be starting his 7th season, of course, as the number 1 receiver, but now really the number 1 receiver over Tyler Lockett here by 4 overall points. Can he make it count for something? Seahawks get a little bit closer this time, but not good enough to make the postseason. 7-7-2. Quite a record there. But the 49ers go 8-8 and win the division, even on a 3-game slide. DK Metcalf finally sees himself 2nd in targets and yards and all of that in this Seahawk offense, as Tyler Lockett still goes over 1,000 and beats him out as the number 2 receiver. So that tells you right there, depth chart positioning has nothing to do with this video, because DK Metcalf has been the 2nd receiver for a long time until he took over number 1, and now Tyler Lockett is 2, and he is still outperforming him. So Metcalf having a tough career. Tyler Lockett gets on the best wide receiver list for the NFC at number 8, which of course means that DK Metcalf did not make it. The Browns finally get that ever-elusive Super Bowl, and they had to take on the other team who is infamously bad. The other team that was once 0-16, the Detroit Lions, in order to get it done, 27-24. DK Metcalf losing Tyler Lockett as a solid number 2 option. Anthony Miller, the number 2 option now. And one other thing I want to show you, Carey, rookie quarterback with 87 speed. So another Russell Wilson type at 5'11". It's going to be interesting to see what Carey can do for DK Metcalf this season. Well, Carey's rookie season was enough to get the Seahawks to the playoffs by virtue of a tie at 8-7-1, barely edging out the Cardinals and, of course, Kyler Murray. They scored less points than they gave up, so let's see what that meant for the stats. Still, DK Metcalf gets passed, this time by Anthony Miller. They both had 80 receptions, but Anthony Miller over 1,000 yards with 7 scores, and DK Metcalf 937 with 5 scores. And for those of you that are interested, Carey had a hell of a rookie season at over 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 7 picks. And Seattle going to take on Tampa Bay here in the wild card round, and already down 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. Going into the second quarter, Seattle will take a lead at 10-7, and we'll see, do they hold on? They do hold on until the half. Seattle starting with the ball out of the half, and they're going to score a field goal, but the Bucs get a field goal right back going into the fourth quarter. So Seattle here gets a field goal in the beginning of the fourth, and they're going to get a touchdown at the end of the fourth to win this thing 22-10. Seattle wins a home playoff game, and DK going to reach the divisional round. Looking at how he did in this playoff game, 6 receptions for 54 yards. So he's been pretty good in his few playoff games. I think he's only had 2 so far. Carey did a good job for his rookie playoff game. We'll see what happens in the next week. So on the road at Soldier Field go the Seahawks, and they are going to be down 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. See if they can make a little bit of a comeback, and unfortunately they give up another touchdown, get another field goal, and give up another touchdown. It is 21-6. It's not looking good. We'll just go straight through to the end of the game, just because it is not looking good at all. Nobody scores in the third quarter. The Bears get a touchdown early fourth, and it is going to be a 28-12 loss at the hands of the Chicago Bears, but they have been a really good franchise in this video. In this ball game, DK Metcalf all but disappeared here. I mean, he had 1 reception for 20 yards. That's all he was able to do. Allen Robinson, on the other hand, look at that, 145 yards, 2 scores for him. How'd the rookie play? He did not play well in this game at all. The Bears defense all over him, and Mitch Trubisky totally outshined him. No awards for any Seahawk receivers whatsoever. But the Bears do make the Super Bowl. They're going to lose it 21-17 to the Chiefs. So at least we lost to the team that won the Super Bowl. DK is already starting to regress here in what will be his 9th season. Anthony Miller has also gone down a little bit, so hopefully his competition won't really be there, and he can come up with some stats finally. Over 1,000 yards would be nice. Well, this year the Seahawks going to finish outside the playoffs at 7-9. We'll see what that means for DK. Okay, clearly Madden 20 does not like DK Metcalf because he is still losing out to guys like Anthony Miller. 78 receptions, 785 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He did have the most touchdowns on the team, but a guy with 95 speed, if I was playing with this guy, I would have like 15 touchdowns and 1,300 yards at least with a guy like this. So, not looking good for him. Redskins beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 62. Look at that. Is that how long it's going to take for the Redskins to win in my Redskins franchise? By the way, if you haven't checked out the Redskins franchise, please do. There's going to be a link in the end screen as well as in the description below. So check out that franchise. Okay, so DK, now a 79 overall. He lost a point in speed already. Meanwhile, if we look at his QB, Luther Carey is up to an 80 overall, so hopefully with a better quarterback he can do a little more, but considering he's never reached 1,000 yards in his career, it's going to be a freaking tough ride here. So let's see what happens in DK Metcalf's 10th NFL season. Wow, this team got even more horrible as they fall to 2-12-2 on this season. Worst team in the NFL. Hopefully they make a good draft pick to make them better, but how does this affect DK? It actually affected DK in a positive way. A.J. Brown was picked up by the team to be his number 2. And there's DK getting 78 catches for 931 and 5 scores. Now, A.J. Brown got 8 scores, but DK led the team in yardage, and that's what we want to see. But we really want to see a 1,000-yard season from him. Can we get it next year? Real quick, no awards for any receivers on our team, including DK Metcalf, but a 24-3 Super Bowl win for the Bengals. Shout out to my boy Alpo. That's how long you got to wait, my friend. Super Bowl 63, it's not that far away. DK Metcalf really starting to wane in his skills, and now instead of A.J. Brown, Tyler Boyd is signed as his number 2. But he's 10 points faster than him, so hopefully DK will be the number 1 target still. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. And as you can see at quarterback, Luther Carey continues to progress. Seahawks go 7-9 here, as you can see. Cardinals 5-11, and there's 2 playoff teams in our own division here. Luther Carey clearly spreading the ball around with 4 targets here. DK Metcalf clearly the number 1 target of them all, but only by 1 reception. But he did have 789 yards, 3 touchdowns, but still nowhere near 1,000. The Dolphins are able to win the Super Bowl over the Philadelphia Eagles 28-21. Sorry there, Bradier. Had to take you down there. Everyone, sub to Zach Brader. He makes some really good rock covers. I really enjoy them, actually, to be honest with you. So please go sub to him. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. He is also a patron of mine, so I definitely want to shout him out here in this video. Zach Brader, sub to him. Okay, DK Metcalf might be nearing his final season. We are, of course, going to throw him in that starting spot in the number 2 hole here. It's not technically cheating because he is better than William Hubbard, at least in my opinion. So William Purvis going to be the number 1 receiver in Seattle. We'll see how that affects him. And the Seahawks go 6-9-1. Niners will win the division at 9-7. You can see the Seahawks not scoring a lot of points here and giving up a lot of points, so that's not going to be good for DK, I don't think. I am clearly wrong, as DK Metcalf goes for 80 receptions, 922 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Still, that elusive 1,000-yard season is slipping, but this is a really good season from him, especially in a season where, look, nobody else really did much, and if you look at his quarterback, Luther Carey, despite being like an 84 overall, just had a terrible season. Bills actually win this Super Bowl over the Saints 21-14. Good to see the Bills doing some things. Shout out to Sin with Vengeance, one of my very good friends on YouTube as well. Go check him out if you haven't already. He's doing a Bills franchise, so head on over there. And let's see what happens to DK in the next season. All right, DK, you know what? For an experiment here, we're going to throw him in that 3rd slot. We'll let him go in the slot as a slot receiver with Purvis and McKinley in front of him, McKinley being a rookie. And we'll see what DK can do here. This could very well be his last season. It's his 13th in the NFL. We'll see what ends up happening. Another bad season for the Seahawks as they end on a 4-game slide to go 5-11, only scoring 317 points. Let's see what that means. Okay. So William Purvis had over 1,000 yards, which you can expect that. Matthias Vincent, I don't know who that is. He had 749 yards. Courtney McKinley is the guy that I put Metcalf over and then said, let's not do that. Let's put Metcalf third. We put Metcalf as the third receiver, and he ends up with 9 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Come on, Madden. What are you doing? That's not even where I had him in the depth chart. Well, Purvis with that 1,000-yard season was on the list at about 8 for best wide receiver in the NFC. And as you can see, the Browns winning a Super Bowl here over the Bears 23-21. Now, there's a good chance DK Metcalf retired. We're going to have to check and see. The bad news here is that the game never told me that DK Metcalf retired, but apparently he did. And I couldn't find him in the transactions retirement section, but I know that he had over 9,000 yards before the start of last season, and there's nobody here with those kind of numbers. So obviously he is gone. So let's see if he got any records. I will put his career numbers on the screen at the end of the video like I did with the Daniel Jones video. But it should be somewhere a little over 9,100 yards with 52 touchdowns. He kind of got screwed in his last season by Madden Sim. So no wonder he retired, but let's look at the records. Okay, so curious about the receiving yardage records. 9,000 is not going to put him on the all-time list at all. Receiving touchdowns, I believe he would have had 52, which isn't going to put him there for his career. Now, in a season, I know he doesn't have a chance because you have to have over 1,600, and he definitely did not have the touchdowns. He just never really had a great season. Now, receiving games is the only thing he could have possibly done, but I don't actually see it actually happening here, and he really didn't. So nothing for DK Metcalf, just like there was nothing for Daniel Jones. So Madden right now, not loving the rookies that came out this season. We'll see what ends up happening in the next video. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the career simulations here on Madden 20, please go ahead, drop a like on the video, as well as subscribe if you're new. There's going to be plenty more of these. I'm going to do one for every single team in the NFL. We've only done 2 so far, so there are 30 more to go. So definitely subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified when any one of these videos drops, as well as any other video on my channel. I've got plenty more franchise content because it is franchise content all day, every day here on Franchise Gaming. Thank you all. Make sure to leave a comment below and let me know who you want to see done next. What rookie on what team would you like to see done next? We've already done Giants and we've already done Seahawks, so we are not going to do them again, obviously. So pick one of the other 30 teams and one of their rookies. And just so everything is clear, I'm going to say this at the end of the video. I'm going to say it at the beginning of the next video as well, just because I'm going to record a couple in a row. But I do want to know and let you guys know that my series here is different than many other career sim things that you might have seen across other platforms of other games or whatever. So basically this series is, in essence, we are taking the rookie on their current team and we are experimenting to see what would happen if that team gave that guy a chance to start his entire career with them. What can that player do for the franchise? Can he get records? Can he win them Super Bowls? What would end up happening? So that is the only reason why I go out and make sure that the player is starting every single season on their team and is on the team that drafted them. No switching teams, none of that mumbo jumbo. We keep them on the team that drafted them. I want to do 32 videos, one for every team, for a big rookie that they ended up picking up, or maybe even a draft steal, who knows, and experiment and see what that rookie can do with his current team. So that is the object of my series. I am not going to follow that player to other teams and other things. It is a different career simulation type than you might have seen with some guys that do NBA 2K or some guys that do MLB The Show, like the Ant Ortiz. I like to watch him for MLB The Show career sims, but you've got to, this is something completely different and something completely new to YouTube, and I'm excited to bring more of it to you guys. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.
You're a pretty little star boy.